Hey my beautiful peeps, what's going on everybody? It's Sam from CancerMoonsTarot, and I'm coming at you guys with a collective channel video, well a collective channeling video about some stuff that I've definitely been picking up on. So it's going to be a little bit more serious, but I think that there's a good message behind it. So there's a couple of things that I do kind of want to warn the collective about, but then at the same time, there's like an opportunity for something positive coming from this too. So pretty much to jump on into what I'm gathering, right? Mercury retrograde, currently Mercury's in retrograde, and with that being said, I do feel like this has been probably one of the more aggressive Mercury retrogrades that we've experienced in quite some time. With that being said, the main element that I've definitely been noticing has kind of been this aggression that's coming to the forefront for many people. You know, whether you want to call that the shadow coming to the surface or kind of the worst in people manifesting, I definitely have seen that recently become pretty much a prominent theme in the collective. You know, despite the fact not necessarily talking about people in my personal environment, but more so kind of seeing it in collective way, like a person that's just walking down the street. You might see an altercation. You might see altercations possibly happening or manifesting in grocery stores. You might see an uptake in road rage. You know, there's a lot of things kind of happening collectively where you're seeing this really dark side of people start to surface. Now, what's interesting is that it's not that it's starting to surface, it's resurfacing, because these are dark energies that have been really suppressed over long periods of time. So I feel like that's pretty much what's resurfacing here on a collective level. You may notice this happen within you. You may notice this happen with people around you. I think though one of the biggest reasons why these dark energies though are coming to the surface again, the reason they are resurfacing is because what's meant to happen here is we're supposed to start to become aware of these dark energies that have been harboring inside of us. You know, anytime Mercury is in retrograde, what I like to look at it as is Mercury likes you to confront your shit. You know, at the end of the day, here's some stuff you didn't deal with. I'm going to throw it in your face. You confront it, you deal with it, you release it, and then you keep it popping, pushing, and moving forward. But most of the time, people during Mercury retrograde, instead of confronting it, they'll want to run away. And then when they run away, the experience gets a heck of a lot more rough because all of that energy resurfacing starts to chase you as a person, or starts to chase you in general, whoever the person is that might have ran away. So it's an interesting channeling for sure. And I'm going to pull some tarot in a little bit, but I just wanted to kind of discuss what I'm feeling here. So like I said, kind of like the positive that I feel coming from this is that it's meant for us to become aware of our dark energies that have kind of been harboring inside of us. And when we become when we become aware of those dark energies, what we can then therefore do is we can look at it, take a look in the mirror, see those dark energies, acknowledge them for what they are, then we can heal them and release them. You know, that's kind of the main point of all of the shadow self energies resurfacing. It's the point here, is to release them at this time. By the way, guys, do bear with me in terms of communication. With Mercury in retrograde, it could be a little hard sometimes for me to communicate properly. So if I have to, if I mess up my words and whatnot, just bear with me. I'd appreciate it. So that's kind of like the main channeling that I've been picking up here for the collective. Now, in terms of a warning, I would definitely say be mindful, guys, because, you know, there could be people whose dark energy is resurfacing. Of course, when they're in that moment, they might not be aware of their dark energy being at the surface. And sometimes we can get very drowned in the darkness, if you will. And I think that that's been happening for a lot of people in the collective who are incredibly unaware of their darkness coming out. So you want to be mindful and you want to be more aware and you want to be cautious of your environment at this time. It would be very good to just pay attention to people, specifically road rage. Really watch out for that throughout this Mercury retrograde period. Me personally, I've noticed quite an uptake going on in road rage incidents and hit and run incidents of people who are just not very cautious and they get way too wrapped up in their darkness that comes out. So please do be careful at this time on the road. Be careful, of course, in general with just people and normal kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? In terms of arguments or in terms of just getting into situations with people, you know, try to de-escalate and remove yourself from any kind of arguments that may pop up at this time as well. People can be very hot-headed. You know, these are the things that I would pre-warn people about. Just try to do everything you can to like make sure you're removing yourself from people once you see their darkness arise. Because I think that from an outsider's perspective, it's going to be very easy for you personally to see somebody else's darkness come to the surface. So if you're starting to see people's shadow come out, I definitely would do everything you can to kind of just de-escalate and walk away. You know, it's better to not confront it because you're not the person, right, who's supposed to be confronting another individual's darkness. they need to confront that within themselves. That's the key here. So, and it would be the same thing for you. If you notice your own personal shadow self or your own personal darkness resurfacing, it's nobody else's duty to confront that. It's your duty to confront that so you can heal it, you can release it, and then you can move forward into a much more high vibrational energy. So I feel like this is a big topic of discussion. There's positive and negatives that come along with it. You know, if you succumb to the darkness, you can, you know, be in a period of time where you can do some damage to yourself or others. Being really wrapped up in that dark energy is not healthy, and it can definitely hurt people, and it can hurt you on an emotional level. And I think it's very important to be as aware as we can at this time of our negative energies or darkness or our shadow selves coming to the surface, so that we can take a look in the mirror and see what needs to be healed and what needs to be worked on, so that we can release it and then once again move forward into high vibrational energies. So we're gonna go ahead and pull some tarot. All right, that's pretty much the gist of the channeling coming up here for everybody. I hope it's beneficial to you. I really do. I haven't done a collective message in a very long time, so sorry if it's not super you know, professional. It's kind of go with the flow type of deal here, but I think it's a pretty important message for people to definitely tune into. You know, it's a bit of a warning for sure, but I think that I wanted to mention more of the positive side of things too, because it's a great opportunity to release a lot of those dark energies that we've harbored over the years if we haven't even realized it, you know? So yeah, just throwing that out there. All right, what information can I bring to the collective here in terms of their shadow selves resurfacing? What information can I bring to the collective here in terms of their shadow selves resurfacing? 10 of Wands. Right off the bat, we have here a 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is a card that represents an overwhelming amount of burdens. You know, this is all the times you've been hurt, and because you've been hurt so many times, this is the mass suppression of all the things that have hurt you. So for some people, this period of time throughout Mercury retrograde is going to be a lot harder than others. If you identify yourself as a person who's just buried a lot of things they went through deep and deep and deep within yourself, you're going to notice a lot resurfacing, okay? But if you're a person who's did a lot of work to heal, maybe you buried a couple things, it might be a little bit lighter for you throughout this time. But like I said, it could be worse for some than others. But 10 of Wands, you know, this is burdens coming to light. This is all the things that have been suppressed. You know, pretty much what I was talking about originally before we got into the reading here. Moving along into the next card for you guys, we have here the Queen of Wands, and we have here the Nine of Swords. So yeah, Queen of Wands is a very expressive card. Okay, so like I said, guys, please be mindful of people when they're in a very expressive state, especially when they're being very expressive of their darkness. There's a difference with the Nine of Swords if somebody's expressing that they're sad or that they're angry about something, but you know, you can tell the difference between a person's natural emotion and then a person's shadow coming out. You know, you can tell the difference between a person who's just had a bad day or is going through something, you know, in the present moment of time versus really deep core issues that have been kind of not taken care of over the course of years. So you can tell a difference between the darkness and then just normal emotion. All right. So regardless, with that being said here for you, I do feel like people are going to be incredibly expressive, and you're going to pick up on that for sure. All right. We also have here the Six of Wands, and then we have here the Six of Cups. But like I keep mentioning, like this is such an opportune time for the collective to move on from their past. Six of Wands here says victory on the card here. Six of Cups showing up being the card of the past. It's such a great time here to victoriously let go of these energies that have been oppressing us. Actually, on the 10 of Wands, it says oppression here. So with all these negative energies, all the shadow energy that has been oppressing us for so long, we have this opportunity period to let go, to release, and to move forward. So in terms of warnings, what are some of the best warnings that I can give to the collective? This pretty much summed up everything I already mentioned in my channeling, so I want to get some fresh information for you. In terms of any sort of warnings that I need to give to the collective, what do I need to give here? Nine of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Magician, and then the Four of Wands. This is interesting. First things first, I heard immediately with the Nine of Wands, watch out for those around you who are very quiet. I don't know why that's what I was being called to say here, but watch out for people that are quiet at this moment in time. If there are people that are just very to themselves, I think that the universe here is trying to say, let them be. Okay, if people are kind of in this period where they're keeping to themselves, where they're in isolation, it's probably for good reason. This isn't to say don't check in on people if you've noticed that they've been a little distant. You're more than welcome to, but it's more a message of respect people's space. If people are personally wanting to be isolated at this time and kind of do their own thing. And if they're requesting that their space is protected and valued and respected, I definitely feel that it is the best thing to do. So if people want space, give them space, okay? Definitely big, important role here is what I'm feeling. And I think that's because this is them handling whatever kind of dark energies that they're dealing with at this time. Moving forward, though, we also do have here the Magician, and we also have here the Four of Wands. So in terms of what to watch out for, definitely watch out for people who have this overconfident kind of perception that everything's amazing and everything's perfect. I would say watch out for those types of people too at this time. People who are in that energy where they're kind of just flaunting around that their life is amazing and their life is perfect and yada, 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 because they're kind of overcompensating for something there, for sure. I would definitely say in terms of warning in reference to people, if people are needing their space, respect their space. But if people are just kind of like, my life is the best, everything is amazing, they may be overcompensating about something, and it probably would be worth not being around these types of individuals. There's something here that I just get that's a bit of an off feeling. Let's go ahead and clarify the Four of Wands. Why do we have the Four of Wands here? What is it about this person who's claiming a life of perfection, or these types of people? We have here Four of Pentacles. We have here Five of Cups. Yeah, they're not happy. They're holding on to a lot of sadness. And instead of addressing and confronting that type of sadness, they're using this mask that everything's perfect and everything's fine. So that's why you're kind of getting a bit of a warning here. Because if anybody has a lot of darkness, it would be these types of people. The people who never confront what they need to confront. So this makes a lot of sense to me, especially on a collective level. It would probably be wise to avoid people who are overcompensating, people who are kind of faking it till they make it, because they are the ones that are dealing with the most sadness. They just never know how to confront it, or they never try to confront it. And what could end up happening is being around these types of energies, they're eventually going to end up having to remove the mask. The mask is not something they can have on forever. And when that mask does get removed, and when they still refuse to not confront their darkness, this is where darkness can start getting taken out onto other people. Okay, so this is what you might want to watch out for, is something I can definitely say here in terms of the collective. All right, guys. So this is what I have here so far in terms of warnings. Hopefully, guys, this reading is a good reading for everybody. I hope that this is actually helping out with people. I'm sorry if it's not. I'm sorry if it's confusing. And if it doesn't make a lick of sense to you in your life, you don't have to apply it. But this is something that I felt was important to share. Okay, let's go to the positives though, because I don't want everybody to feel creeped out. It's like, oh my God, it's 2023. It's a brand new year. Are you kidding me? We're starting off the new year with all these hectic energies and people's darkness coming to the surface. It's like World War III happening right now, But with that all being said, this is the energy where I want people to know that we're moving into this brand new year, and this is a good thing. Now we're getting to the positive, because I believe this is a good thing for the reasoning that many people are going to start to have this opportune time where they can see themselves in the mirror, they can see their shadow, and they can truly get some healing done. So let's get on into the positives here for everybody. All right, so what are going to be the positives here in terms of the collective going through this shift? What are going to be the positives here throughout this Mercury retrograde period for the collective? All right, we got a card that jumped over, and the card is going to be the Judgment. Moving along from that, we have here the Ace of Cups, we have the Eight of Swords, and we have here the Queen of Cups. Ooh, I actually like that a lot. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look here for you. So in terms of positivity, I definitely will say here for the collective, Judgment here, Ace of Cups here, you're going to have that time to have a whole moment of reflection. Judgment card is one of those cards that represent that you are taking the time to make a judgment call. So I feel like you'll be assessing yourself. The positives here is self-assessment. If you notice or become aware that your darkness is resurfacing, you can assess what your darkness is. You have an opportune time right now to really tap into your emotions in a highly sensitive way, a lot more than usual. I think that that's another opportune time as well, because I feel like most people don't often realize how much sensitivity they can really tap into when it comes to their own feelings and emotions. So when most people tap into their feelings and emotions, they usually tap into surface level stuff. They don't really go deep. You have the opportunity here to go deep with the Ace of Cups and with the Judgment card as well. So I feel like this is a super opportune time to get tapped into really sensitive and deep emotions. So that's why you can, have this moment in time to self-assess and see the root of a lot of problems and issues that have come through. Now, Eight of Swords here to the Queen of Cups, Eight of Swords, this is going to be a time where everybody's really going to start to think. So many people are going to start to think to themselves about, what they're dealing with, what they went through, what they, dealt with in the past. And I think it's going to be a great time here for healing overall. So in terms of the positives, as I mentioned as well in the original channeling, you get to take a look in the mirror and you get to see exactly what needs to be healed. It's an opportune time to let go of all that darkness, because the more that you keep harboring that darkness, the more that it's going to continue to build up over the years, right? And I definitely think that this is going to be the best time to let go of all that negative energy so you can move into this new year, right? We're already in 2023, but it's going to be the best time to just move throughout the rest of this year feeling more weightless and not feeling all the suppression of negative energy. All right, any more positives here that I can give to the collective? We did have another card come out. 10 of Swords, abso-freaking-lutely. Time to let go of a lot of the dead weight. Time to let go of a lot of these energies that are weighing us down. What other positives here can I bring forth to the collective, please? We have here the Five of Pentacles, and then we also have here the Strength card. Okay, so Five of Pentacles here to the Strength card. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, by the way, I think I made a mistake. I did make a mistake earlier. Okay, this is interesting. So before, I thought this was the Five of Pentacles. I wasn't paying attention, guys. My apologies. This actually was the 10 of Pentacles. So going back real quick to warnings, just to kind of relay another message. It's still kind of the same message. I mentioned with the 9 of Wands here and what I thought was the 5 of Pentacles. I told you guys, try to stay away from people or respect people's space if that's what they're asking for. It's still the same message. It doesn't change because we have here the 9 of Wands. But what I can say is 10 of Pentacles very much so represents family and your close environment. So if people in your very close environment have become distant from you, this is a time where you probably shouldn't take it personally, because it's not personal to you, it's personal to them. So if people in your family or your really close environments are taking some time away, they're kind of doing their thing, they're kind of distant, I would just respect it, because right now they're taking care of whatever they're going through on a personal level. So pretty much the same message. All the 10 of Pentacles makes a difference of is it's more about the people closest to you, okay? Regardless though, getting back on into the reading here for you guys. In terms of positives, 5 of Pentacles here, Strength card here. Another big positive here too is that you don't have to suppress anymore. The thing about suppression is that the more we bury and bottle up our feelings and emotions, the more one day we're going to inevitably explode. What I've always done when I was younger, right? I was always that person who would bottle up my own feelings and emotions to the point of explosion. And then when I would explode, it would be damaging not only to myself, but it would be damaging to the other people around me when I would end up exploding, because I wouldn't confront or deal with all the pain or rage or anything that I had inside of me. So what's beautiful about this experience, and a big positive here, is being able to let go of these energies so that you don't end up hurting other people, especially when it's not intentional. It could be really unfortunate sometimes where we can just be in such a dark place that we might say something or we might do something and act out and hurt another person in the process, even though that was never our intent. So this overall is super awesome in terms of harm reduction for potentially hurting yourself or others on a deep emotional level. All right, though, guys. With that being said, I don't really know at this moment in time if I have any more information to update you all with. The tarot here kind of really did just verify everything I talked about originally. There was a couple of extra things to talk about, but it was pretty much the same messages coming out here in my channeling, which I guess is a good thing, right? Is something I could say here for sure. So, people's darkness is coming out. You're going to see it. It's going to come out to play. Your own darkness might come out to play here too. And I think there's a lot of good in it. I think there's a lot of intensity that comes along with it. So I just want to say, in terms of protection, protect yourself. If you see other people's darkness coming out to play, don't play with it, okay? Don't engage with it. Let them deal with what they need to deal with. Same thing with if your darkness comes out. Try not to cast that upon other people. Deal with what you got to deal with. It's going to be a great opportune time to heal, and I hope you guys very much so take the opportunity. I hope you look in the mirror and you see that shadow self of yours, and you look at all the things you never healed from before, and you take the time out to really work on it, because once you let all that energy go, you're going to be hella weightless moving throughout this brand new year, and you're going to be in a very high vibrational energy, and it's going to be a great way to kick off the new year here, okay? All right, everybody, I love you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry if a lot of this was repetitive, but I guess I just needed that extra clarification from what I originally channeled through, my guides. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. I love you. I'm wishing you all a very amazing and happy 2023. Please do stay safe. And of course, protect yourself and do the work, because in doing so, we're going to set ourselves up for an awesome 2023. All right, everybody. Much love to you, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.